everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And in this video I'll be going through my very tiny ateez slash yeosang slash onlyoneof binder collect book basically, as well as going through my thoughts on downsizing. So I'm just gonna jump right into this and introduce my little collect book. I bought this collect book because it says what I think is cute and why did you show up now? And the reason I chose this is because I've actually I didn't stan ateez for a while, but I have listened to their songs for a very decent amount of time. I was watching their fan cams back in 2020 and I was really into Inception when it came out. Except I only decided to stan and collect them last year, and at that point in time I really didn't want to get into another group, so all of a sudden yeosang showed up and took all of my money, which is on me and all my willpower, but it's more like a little funny inside joke with myself when I say, why did he show up, why did I want to spend all that money then, and why is he so cute? So, like I mentioned before, I actually watched a bunch of their videos and I watched their music videos. And this is one of my favorite photocards, by the way. This and another Hongjoong PC were the first photocards I've ever purchased for ateez. And I told myself I was just gonna stop at those two, but that's a lie. So I was into them for a while. I didn't really know any of their names aside from San because he's pretty popular amongst non-fans with his fan cams and with his demeanor on stage. So I'd watch a bunch of those, but I never thought to get into the other members because I just didn't have enough headspace to learn more names, because they're another pretty decently big group. They're 8, and I used to only like standing 7 members or below. 7 members or smaller. But obviously with the introduction of Pentagon, Golden Child, and SF9, that logic and that theory of mine went out the window. But I ended up joining a bunch of group orders for them for Fever Part 3, which is where a lot of these photocards came from. Except these two. These two are Everline, and these two are my favorite photocards because they were so hard for me to find. I did join a GO for these, except I didn't have a good time with the group order manager. I didn't like the way they organized their GOs, and they were terribly unprofessional with their timeline and with the way they treated their GO joiners. So I did mention in the beginning that this will also be like a mini downsizing video, and I feel like that contributes a lot to my experience. I bought this PC in the beginning of my ateez standing journey when I didn't really have a secondary bias. Now we know that it's Wooyoung, but this is my favorite photocard of his. Yeah, so I did have an eventual bad run-in with some ateez and their behaviors. It's not an overarching issue with the entire fandom. Like, when you get to a larger fandom, you're obviously going to be introduced to more nicer people and more rude people. So with big fandoms like this, it really is just a numbers game. So I will likely be downsizing part of this collection. I do love yeosang a lot, but I just have no interest in further collecting them, especially because they have so many cards out there. Like, their album hasn't even released yet, and I've seen 10 pre-order benefit sites pop up. And then you have the in-person photocard and the online fan sign photocard. That it just kind of gets a lot, and I know you don't need to collect in order to actually enjoy the content that a group puts out. But I also don't have a lot of time to follow up with them, because they're also one of those groups who's kind of like 17, where I feel like every other month they all have like a new variety show come out, or a long interview, or like a concert, and it's so hard to follow up. And once you start to fall behind, there's really just no catching up, and then you feel like you're missing out on a lot of stuff. So that is my little ateez binder. I have 2 placeholders here because behind we have my onlyoneof binder, and in this section I really only have the unknown art picks photocards and maybe one of their Instinct photo cards. Their Unknown Art Picks is their technically single album, but it also doubles as a photo book in which you can pull out the photo book pages as postcards. One of my friends tried to get into a fan sign and wasn't able to, but because she had so many extras, she just sent me these two. And this is from another group order manager who had extras and just sold me a sealed album for $5 US, which is insane, pretty wild considering how much they actually retail for. So I have this collect book almost completely filled, and I will be going through it and downsizing. I haven't really thought what photo cards I want to get rid of, so I'm basically doing this all on camera. I love Yeosang. He's so nice. I don't know what it is about him, because I do tend to gravitate towards the Laudo members as seen by Wooyoung over here, but something about Yeosang is just, it's so cute. And he seems honestly to be like a pretty warm person. Like, he is shy, everyone knows that he's shy. And he doesn't seem like someone who's going to show off or whatnot, but he has a really nice demeanor. And he's one of those people who I feel like, as a fan, and as someone who's never met them, never talked to him, and never will, because I'm not interested in fan signs for them like that, he just seems like someone who's really comforting to be around. And this is definitely where some of the parasocial relationship comes in, because I don't know him, but I do like whatever vibe he gives off on, interviews, social media. I do subscribe. I don't subscribe to his bubble, but I follow accounts who do translate their bubble, messages. And he just seems to be really nice. He's really attentive to ateez. He seems like he's... which one do I want to keep? He just seems like a good egg, and I know that he gets a lot of attention for his visuals, but I feel like he doesn't let that get to his head, and he just wants people to know that he is, like, a vocalist. But this is surprisingly not as many photo cards as I wanted to get rid of, so I do want to go through, maybe lower my standards and try again, which is an awful thing to say, but I'm not selling or trading away these Fever Part 1 pubs. I love them. This blonde was such a good look on him. I don't really like the blonde that he had for the concerts or the blonde that he has for the teasers right now for their new comeback. I'm a big fan of... Okay, I know what it is. I really like blonde hair with dark eyebrows. And I think right now they have his eyebrows bleached, which I think throws me off a little. I don't know if these are enough photo cards for me to say that this is a successful downsize. I like this card. The blue is really pretty, but I don't really collect Wooyoung. Okay, I'm keeping this because Heart Cheek is my favorite thing in the whole world. I'm in between... I don't know, I do kind of want to keep a full set, so maybe I'll just keep... Well, this counts as a full set too. Or should I just keep those two? See, this is why downsizing never works, because I attach emotional value to all these cards, which is, the fun in collecting, but I do not need all these photo cards. I guess in terms of being sentimental and wanting to keep a full set, I should probably, or that counts, I'm gonna keep these. I take it back. I like him too much. He's not even my bias. He's my bias wrecker. Like, there's no competition. Like, yeosang definitely is the one idol who I love the most out of ateez, but Wooyoung is so bright. He's so fun, and he's... I don't know, he reminds me of a couple people in my life, which makes me incredibly fond of him. So this was a very silly downsize. This is basically not a downsize at all, but I guess I do clear up a couple more pages in here in case I want to add, like, another group. I can probably add, like, my 17 photo cards here. I only have 2 Vernon PCs, so I guess I will do that, but... So much for that downsize, huh? I guess in this video you really saw how indecisive I am when it comes to selling photo cards. But, thank you for watching again. I hope you learned a lot about how downsizing never really works for me, but hopefully this is still an enjoyable journey for you to embark on. See you next time.